There's a reason the word Archon didn't die with the empires that named it. It didn't fade with the burning of libraries or the rise and fall of kingdoms. It endured because it describes something that never went away. Not a creature, not a conspiracy, a pattern. A design older than nations, subtler than religion, quieter than power spoken aloud. You see, the Archons are not horned demons hiding in caves. They're counterfeit powers. Architects of imitation. They don't create, they replicate. They build copies of reality, convincing enough that entire civilizations can live inside the replica and call it truth. They don't need to shout, they don't need to be seen. What do they need? Your attention. At the top is the demiurge, the blind god that believes it's the only god. It creates not to liberate, but to contain. It doesn't punish, it distracts. It builds a system so complete that questioning it starts to feel like insanity. Beneath it, the Archons maintain the architecture. They're not deities, they're functions, programs, operating in the gaps between your awareness and your assumptions. But the real story isn't out there, it's in here. Once again, they live in your unexamined thoughts, in the reflexes you mistake for choice, in the constant scroll that replaces reflection, in the way your mind reaches for comfort instead of truth. Every time you accept an explanation without touching its root, every time you follow the script without asking who wrote it, every time silence makes you uncomfortable enough to run back to the noise, they grow stronger. Ignorance is not their weakness, it's their power source. They feed on unconscious agreement. A distracted mind is their open door. The demiurge is the ego inflated to godhood. Personally, it's the voice that insists your map is the world. Collectively, it's any structure that defends itself at the cost of truth. Governments, religions, corporations, narratives, different masks, one face. Inside, Archons speak in reflex, comparison, compulsion, shame, craving. Outside, they manifest as systems that harvest your attention. Endless feeds, outrage cycles, algorithms tuned to your weaknesses. What you feed with your attention becomes your reality. What you never examine becomes your cage. This goes back to the Gnostics, who didn't talk about fighting Archons with weapons. They spoke of seeing them because awareness is their collapse point. Gnosis isn't secret scripture hidden in a cave. It's the fracture in the illusion. The moment the script is exposed as a script. And here's the deeper cut. Archons don't just mirror control, they mirror you. They are made of the parts of yourself you ignore. They weaponize the blind spots you refuse to confront. They are not just the walls of the prison, they are the warden wearing your face. So, ask yourself, what if the real cage is the part of you that fears clarity? What if the chains are forged from the questions you've never had the courage to ask? What if the system doesn't need to trap you because you keep walking back in willingly? The Archons don't fall to revolution. They fall to recognition. They can't survive the gaze that truly sees. They thrive on autopilot. They starve in awareness. Every original thought is a crack in their foundation. Every moment of deep silence is a weapon. Every refusal to be hypnotized by the surface weakens their hold. And the most dangerous thing you can do in a world built on imitation is remember yourself. Imitation has no defense against a mind that wakes up. That's the real revolution. Not on some battlefield, not in some prophecy, but here and now. So look past the reflection. Remember who's watching, and more importantly, who's remembering. That's when the architecture shakes. Not because you've overthrown it. That's silly. But because you've stopped believing it was the world. Humanfluence, out.